So I'm not sure I'm the only one who is wishing that we get a holiday every Thursday, because I absolutely enjoyed myself yesterday. And I mean, it's even more exciting that today is Friday. I get to come on you, on your screens. We get to have fun. We get to sip some teas. And speaking about teas, we've got some really hot ones coming up right here on your favorite show. It's E-Corner on Joy News. Of course, it's still the AM show, but it's now time for E-Corner with me, Noella Carinielli. Right after this, we get started. All right, you're welcome back. It's E-Corner right here on your favorite AM show. And like I said, we're going to get straight into our stories. I'm going to start on a high note. And I say a high note because this story broke, I think, in the middle of the week. But it has got, some conversations going on social media. It's about Shatta Wale. Obviously, Shatta Wale is always in the news. But later this week, surprisingly, we saw him post something, or some sort of like an apology, a retraction on social media. And we were quite surprised, but it was an apology to his former manager, Bullgod, over some false murder allegations he leveled against him. And so for those of you who do not know who I'm talking about, well, that's Bullgod on your screen. He's an artist manager, like I said, has managed quite a number of musicians, including Shatta Wale himself. But let me take you back to 2022, where we don't really know what happened, because if you followed both these individuals, you would know, or you would agree with me when I say that they have some sort of like a bittersweet relationship. They're brothers today, tomorrow they're not so much of brothers. I can also describe them as enemies, but they have a very, bittersweet relationship. And so we saw Bullgod obviously share on social media a certain track list that was purported to be a GOG album. GOG album was Shatta's, at the time, most anticipated album. And a lot of people were really looking forward to him releasing the album. He was never releasing it. People were guessing who is he going to feature on. And so really a lot of people were anticipating the album. And so when he released that track list, it got a lot of people thinking or saying that he had leaked, Bullgod had leaked Shatta's, most anticipated GOG album. And I guess maybe there was some truth to it, because it affected Shatta so much so that he came on social media, went on live, had a lot of unprintable things to say about Bullgod. And one of them was the fact that he accused him of having a hand in the death of the late Fenwick Ottery. Fenwick Ottery was an artist manager as well. And that was quite, a serious allegation. And so Bulldog took it up, sued him. They went to court. I guess the courts decided that, look, both of you are brothers, and so you should settle this out of court. But then there were certain stipulations, there were certain things that needed to be done, certain demands that needed to be done or honored. And I guess Shatta did not. And so that necessitated Bullgod to, sue Shatta again. And that was the last I heard of it until this apology. So let's quickly read the apology, and then we get a reaction from Bullgod, who is live with us on Zoom. And so if I can get the statement on screen, I'd quickly read that apology by Shatta Wale. So that's what you're seeing on your screens. Unfortunately, I can't really read it because it's a bit further. But yeah, let's now go to Bullgod and get a reaction from him. Hi, Bullgod. I can't hear you. Can you unmute for me? Hello? Uh-oh. All right. So while he tries to figure... Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Bull.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, love.
Awesome. So I'm sure you, as well as all of us, have seen that retraction and apology shared by your former artist Shatta Wale on social media. First of all, what do you make of it? Or how do you react to it?
What I'm going to say is thank you to my legal team, that made it possible. I heard you giving a history or a background of what really transpired, So I want to really say thank you to my legal team, starting with
Okay, so obviously we're losing Bullgod. Obviously, Bullgod, if you can hear me, kindly rejoin. We're losing you. It's the internet. Obviously, we work with, networks and stuff. And so, yeah. But, okay, I think he's back. Is he? Hi, Bullgod. Can you hear me? Okay. We're still losing him. I'm sure he's going to join pretty shortly. But basically, we're having a conversation about him getting his reaction to that retraction and apology by Shatta Wale over an allegation, a murder allegation he leveled against Bullgod. It was about a certain artist manager called Fennec Otre. I mean, he made other stuff. Okay, so Bullgod is back, I understand. So let's just go back to him and quickly get his reaction. Bull, you were saying?
So I'm saying that I'll say thank you to my legal team, They made this possible, and I want to say thank you to lawyers from SAI.
Okay.
Yes, lawyers from SAI is now the
Deputy Attorney General.
Deputy Attorney General for Ghana.
Right.
Yes. I also want to say thank you to my brother and my legal counsel is like my best friend. He pushed for the execution of this one. It's called Lawyer Cephas Boyo.
Okay.
Or, at Boyo at Law with the whole team at Boyo.
But Boo, not to catch you. I mean, the last I heard you talk about this issue, if my memory serves me right, you were expecting some payment, some settlement, especially because. Okay, go ahead.
No. Okay, so the money involved. The original suit was 1 million Ghana cedis, right?
Okay.
When Shatta's legal team came to say that they want to settle this out of court, we sat down with a number of people in the industry, in the space, a lot of people, A+, some chiefs, and some my big people from Nima and everything. And I said, okay, he's my brother. I can always take out the case. Now, there's only one condition. Actually, two conditions I'm looking out for: an apology, and he pays my legal fees.
Right.
So basically, the money involved in this whole matter was for my legal fees, right? Because it will not defame me for me to now go and pay my own legal fees, right? If I'm taking it out of court, if I'm saying that, hey, we are brothers, there's no need to go back and forth. At least the decent thing to do is to try and sort out the legal aspect of the whole situation, So that's what we had. So the legal fees were supposed to be 100,000 Ghana cedis, and that would to my lawyers, right? So that's the money involved, not money for me or anything. I don't want to know about the money.
So has that money been paid to your legal team?
My legal team is working that out.
Okay.
So the apology came, I think, on Wednesday. So the legal team, Cephas Boyo and his whole team are on it, and I'm sure they will sort that out too, because they need to be paid for their work. That's basically it. Yeah.
Okay. But beyond the apology, where does, this whole experience leave your relationship with Shatta?
He's not an enemy, right? He's somebody that I've worked with, somebody that I love, someone that I have. There will be no point that I'll wish him anything but success. So it won't change how I feel about him or how I felt about him. Once we cross paths, that's how I believe. Once anybody cross paths with you in life, there's a purpose for that.
Right.
Sometimes the purpose might not go the way you intended to go. But God knows best. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's nothing really. There's no bad blood. I mean, there's always love. So that's basically what I'll say about that. Yeah.
Bull, thank you so much for speaking to us. Pardon me for waking you up this early in the morning.
All right. All right. I also want to say a big thank you to my wife, and my kids. They've been through hell this, and they've been very, very troubled and traumatized with this whole situation. I want to thank them for standing by me, not them alone. Every other person that prayed and supported me through this. And thank you for your love and support as well. Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Always. Thank you too. All right. So that was Bullgod. Bullgod is the former artist manager for Shatta Wale. He's an artist manager also, a pundit as well. And he was reacting to Shatta Wale finally retracting and apologizing to him over a false murder allegation he had leveled against him. And I'm talking, the person we're talking about was the late Fenwick Ochre. Now, that being said, I need to wrap up quickly, but let me share with you an update on the Osinachi story. I'm sure you've heard about it. If you haven't, well, Osinachi was a Nigerian, gospel musician. A lot of people loved her. She has a very popular song, Ekueme, Ekueme. That's her on your screens. And in 2022, we heard that she had passed from lung cancer. And I mean, it was quite sad. It was a sad story when it broke. And then all of a sudden we saw that her brother had filed a homicide police report against her spouse or her husband. And apparently the story was that he had subjected her to domestic violence, beat her up almost every now and then, lock her in the house and all of that. And so she had died from a lot of sadness and a lot of internal bleeding and not lung cancer. Well, they took that case went on trial, I should say. And finally, he has been sentenced to death by hanging. It's a good, not so good story. It's sad, but yeah, I guess it's well-deserved, if you ask me. But anyway, if you are wondering, or you're still wondering who I'm talking about, well, this is the woman I'm talking about. I mean, very spirited, singer, if you ask me. A lot of talent. She could not explore everything and, sadly had to die. Anyway, that's it. On that sad note, that's it for E-Corner. I had one last story, but yeah, time is not on our side today as well. And so we say bye-bye to you here on E-Corner. But listen, coming up next is Ghana Grows, Changing Narratives, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation in collaboration with Springboard Roadshow Foundation. It's live right here on Joy News. Do not tune off. I'm Noella Karaniali. Stay absolutely fabulous, and I'll see you next week, okay? Mwah.